My name is Randy Bigley. Join me on the podcast today. We have Adam and Sara Lehman. They have a podcast called Township Falls, right?
That's right.
And it's we'll call it a true crime podcast, correct?
I would, yes. Thanks for having us, Randy.
Well, no problem. Talk a little bit, how did you guys get started on the podcast? When did you guys decide to do a podcast?
So we're originally from Hocking Hills,
Okay.
where the story is set. We found a need to tell the story. It's coming on the 40th anniversary of the said story. So we just kind of wanted to get that out. It's very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
It's got its ups and downs. So we just want to get that story out to the public.
And it is a true story, correct?
That's
It
correct.
is.
Yeah. Wow. And is this something you guys experienced while living there? Or?
We did. We're actually characters in the story.
Are you really? Wow. Wow. So you decided to do a podcast. That's cool, and really talk about it and get it out there, right?
That's right.
Right. So how long, is this the only podcast you guys do, or you guys have done other podcasts?
So far,
Mhm.
we're thinking about maybe doing another season.
Oh, wow. So you guys are, so season one just wrapped
Season
up?
1, yeah. So we're finishing up season 1 and looking ahead to do some other things with it.
So let's talk about the story. What's the story all about, so people can know what they're listening to?
Sure.
Well, on a pretty October day in 1982, teenage sweethearts Annette Cooper and Todd Schultz went for a walk, and then they never came home. They were last seen walking down the railroad tracks. Nobody knew where they were going, why they were headed that way. 10 days later, their torsos were found floating in the river. So I'm not going to tell you too much.
Right,
You
yeah,
have to
no,
listen
yeah,
to the
right,
podcast
exactly.
to get the whole
Spoiler-free.
story. But it really shook our little community.
Mhm.
We felt that the boogeyman had popped right out of our nightmares and was walking around in our little town. And even 40 years later, it's still a very sensitive subject in Logan, Ohio.
Yeah. And how far is Logan from here?
It's about 2 hours
It's about 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
in the Hocking Hills.
Yeah.
Logan's the county, the seat of the Hocking Hills Center.
Okay, well, okay, yeah. So how do you guys research something like this?
Oh, wow. It's been about a year process. Everything that we report in the podcast is something that I dug up through archives.
Okay.
Looking through transcripts, watching videos, documentaries, reading the several books that are out. There have been some essays, and then I reached out to the Columbus Metropolitan Library, and
Mhm.
their librarians are so wonderful. They turned me on to their archives. So
Okay.
I looked through about, I don't know, maybe 700 newspaper articles
Right.
and just started to see that maybe the story we were told in Logan wasn't exactly the true story,
Mhm.
because it was a mystery for a quarter of a century.
Sure.
So, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, how many hours you put in this? I bet it's a lot,
Oh
isn't
my
it?
gosh. It's been almost a year
Mm-hmm.
of, flat out obsession, wouldn't
Yeah,
you
it
say?
starts with obsession, yeah, and
Yes.
then
Right.
a lot of we're parents, so we have
Sure.
a PG/PM lifestyle. I think that's the only way we get through the thing.
Yeah.
But so it's a lot of research done before we even started getting the mics out and recording.
Wow. Yeah. So it takes a long time to prepare for this. Actually, you just don't grab and just go, "Hey, we're going to talk about it." It takes a
Right.
lot of preparation.
No,
Doesn't it? Yeah.
We've spent thousands of hours just sifting through all of that very old
Mm-hmm.
material.
We have a narrative style to it, so
Mhm.
we're not interviewing. That comes in our last episode, the 9th episode. We're going to actually speak with folks and have them interact through a phone number we have.
Wow. Okay.
So a little hotline that they can call and any questions, or they have some tips that they want to anonymously drop. We're listening.
So has the whole season been recorded then?
No, we're wrapping up the last 2.
Okay. How can people listen to it if they're interested?
You can find us at townshipfallspodcast.com, or you can just search Township Falls wherever you listen to your podcast.
That's what the great thing about podcasts these days. They're everywhere. You can put them on all kinds.
Right.
Yeah. And it's kind of nice because at your convenience you can listen to it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, this has been interesting. And has that been solved, or can you say that? Or
Well, it was solved.
was it? Okay.
It was, yes.
Okay. But you kind of.
But the story changes from what we grew up hearing.
Right.
So there's some developments in the story that completely changes it to who we grew up thinking it was.
Wow.
Ergo, so the interest in the podcast to get that story out.
So you guys-
it does twist and turn a lot.
You guys learned a lot too by doing this. So
We
this is
did.
exactly what yeah.
Yes.
We grew up thinking there was like a specific narrative,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very scandalous and rumor filled.
Yeah.
When we grew up, we had believed, we'd been told her stepfather had been having an inappropriate relationship with her, and he was behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally grew up terrified of her stepfather.
Sure.
Like, if you wanted me to behave, you said his name, or, you know, kids would say, like, oh, he's going to get you. And you'd freeze up and
Right.
behave. But then when the real story comes out, it's nothing like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you surprised too that it was nothing like?
Yeah,
what you thought, yeah.
when they solved it,
Yeah.
you know, we were already living up here and far
Right.
away, and we're like,
In
what?
disbelief, yeah.
Right.
We failed to accept that at first,
Yeah.
Yeah.
had to look
right.
into it ourselves, and then finally came to the conclusion that, this is how it plays out.
Wow. Very cool. I mean, yeah, you just probably didn't expect that, did you?
No, not at all.
We went
Yeah.
into it
Yeah.
with, you know, an idea of
Yeah.
what had happened, and it was kind of hard to shake that. And then when it started, you know, to lay out, you're like, wow, what an act of fluidity to completely have your opinions change
Right.
overnight. You grow up 25 years thinking one thing, and then none of that is true.
Right.
And that's the great thing about podcasts. I mean, each episode, of course, different episodes take a different turn, don't they? It's like,
Yes.
yeah,
They do.
yeah. How long do your episodes run, time-wise?
From a half hour to an
Mhm.
hour. There are a few episodes that had a lot more detail, like the court
Mhm.
case and the things that happened after. But for the most part, about a half hour. There are a
Okay.
few longer ones, but they're worth it.
They're worth it, okay? They are worth listening to. Again, what's the name of the podcast?
Township Falls.
Township Falls, and it's available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Right?
Anywhere.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much. And we're looking forward to another season here. So if you guys do another season, when would you like to release that?
Hopefully this fall.
Okay. All right, but keep listening. And how many episodes do you have out now, right?
We're finishing up the 7th right now.
So, okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming in today. And again, Township Falls, listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Randy.